William Bradley Pitt is a name that hardly needs any introduction. He is a unique kind of actor who, despite experiencing numerous box office failures, has consistently managed to climb back to the peak of Hollywood success. But how exactly did he conquer the film industry without the benefit of connections, unlike many other talents? How did he prove himself to be a serious and versatile actor, rather than just a handsome face? And why didn't the many flops he starred in ruin his career? After all, even a few failures would be enough to end most actors' careers. Yet Brad's journey has been remarkably resilient. What is the secret to his enduring success? Determined to pursue his dream of acting, Pitt dropped out of university and moved to Los Angeles. Unlike Sylvester Stallone, who famously arrived with only $10 to his name, Pitt had a comparatively sizable sum of $350, which made him feel like an oligarch among his struggling peers. Despite the small fortune, he started out working as a chicken mascot, promoting various diners, and also took on delivery jobs, bringing pizzas and Chinese food. His early roles in films were tiny, often uncredited parts. Interestingly, at the beginning of his Hollywood journey, Pitt aspired to emulate Mickey Rourke, who was considered a major talent in the 80s. However, when Rourke learned of Pitt's admiration, he surprisingly chose to pursue boxing instead, which eventually led to a decline in his stardom. Pitt himself would later have a chance to make his mark in the boxing world, but more on that later. Gradually, Pitt transitioned into television, where his name began to appear in credits. One of his proudest early achievements was landing a spot in a Pringles commercial, which he regarded as a milestone. His first substantial feature film role was in The Dark Side of the Sun, where he played a character allergic to sunlight. This was a joint production between Yugoslavia and the USA, but due to the political and economic turmoil in Yugoslavia during the late 80s, the film was shelved and only released on video 8 years later in 1997. Once Pitt had become a household name, and the producers saw an opportunity to profit. While The Dark Side of the Sun gathered dust, Pitt mostly took roles in horror movies, often playing characters who met grisly ends. He was wary of being typecast on television, so he accepted even the smallest roles to stay visible. During this period, Pitt's life could have taken a very different, darker turn. He became close friends with Robin Givens, while she was in the midst of ending her tumultuous relationship with Mike Tyson. On one occasion, Tyson caught Givens in a car with Pitt near her house, but Pitt managed to avoid conflict by sincerely smiling and pretending to be a huge Tyson fan. Tyson let him go unharmed and never crossed paths with him again. Although Pitt's potential boxing career was cut short before it even began, his film career was on the cusp of taking off in a big way. In the early stages of his career, Brad Pitt faced more failures than successes, reflecting Hollywood's unpredictable nature, where talent must overcome fierce competition and constant pressure from both industry insiders and audiences alike. The path to stardom was anything but smooth for Pitt, as he navigated a landscape filled with rejections, small roles, and projects that failed to resonate. His breakthrough came with Thelma and Louise, a film that was shaped significantly by Ridley Scott's tough creative decisions and numerous casting changes that ultimately led to Pitt landing the role. After a series of intense auditions filled with uncertainty and fierce competition, Pitt was chosen over Christian Slater, a pivotal moment that launched his career and established him as a compelling new presence in Hollywood. The film was not only a critical and commercial hit, but also a cultural milestone, earning Pitt widespread recognition as a rising star and opening doors to further opportunities. However, his momentum was soon challenged by his next film, Cool World, which, despite a hefty $30 million budget and ambitious visual effects, turned out to be a major disappointment. This was largely due to a last-minute and drastic shift from an adult-themed concept to a teen-focused plot, which confused both audiences and critics, resulting in a disjointed narrative. The film grossed only $14 and received overwhelmingly poor reviews, marking a significant setback in Pitt's early career. Following this, another minor role in The Favor also failed to make an impact, although Pitt avoided much of the blame, as the film itself was largely overlooked. His fortunes began to change dramatically when Robert Redford cast him in A River Runs Through It after being impressed by his potential in Thelma and Louise. Despite a shaky audition, Pitt won the role over River Phoenix, a well-established actor at the time, which further proved his rising star status. The film was both a critical and commercial success, grossing $66 million on a modest $12 million budget and earning multiple award nominations, which solidified Pitt's reputation as a serious and versatile actor. This success opened doors to a diverse array of roles, showcasing his range and dedication. He earned $800,000 for California, directed by Dominic Sena, who admired Pitt's raw talent and intensity. Although both California and True Romance underperformed financially, True Romance was critically acclaimed and became a cult favorite, significantly boosting Pitt's reputation as a skilled performer capable of handling complex characters. The commercial failure of California only strengthened his resolve and commitment to his craft. Soon after, Pitt landed his first major hit, a film that showcased his relentless acting style and secured his place as a leading man in Hollywood. This milestone marked the beginning of a successful and evolving career characterized by continuous growth, increasing critical acclaim, and a steady climb to superstardom, reflecting both his resilience and adaptability in a notoriously difficult industry. Interview with the Vampire is notorious not only for its captivating story and stellar cast, but also for the numerous hardships Brad Pitt endured during filming, which have become a significant part of the movie's lore and contributed to fascination with its production. Pitt complained about physically demanding conditions, such as being hung upside down for long periods to create the effect of blood rushing to his head, a process both physically draining and mentally taxing, causing strain beyond typical acting challenges. This method involved complex rigging and extensive safety precautions to ensure he wouldn't be injured, yet still left Pitt feeling dizzy, nauseous, and disoriented, making it difficult to maintain his performance focus during extended takes that sometimes lasted hours. Additionally, he also wore contact lenses that irritated his eyes severely due to allergies, leading to redness, itching, and constant watering that complicated filming and required ongoing medical care from on-set specialists. The discomfort from these lenses was so intense that it often forced unscheduled breaks during shooting, and Pitt had to consult frequently with optometrists to find temporary relief and prevent lasting damage. Pitt found the 6-month London shoot especially unpleasant, describing the city as darker, colder, and gloomier than the film's already somber tone, adding emotional weight that seeped deeply into his performance. The overcast skies, cold weather, and dreary atmosphere contributed to a pervasive sense of melancholy that affected not only the scenes being filmed, but also the actors' general moods, creating an environment that was as psychologically challenging as it was physically demanding. A week into shooting, he seriously considered quitting, overwhelmed by the physical and emotional demands, but was reminded that the book's bestseller status and the $60 budget offered a rare career boost that was hard to pass up. Breaking his contract then would have cost him about $80 million in today's terms, financially binding him despite the discomfort he endured. This financial pressure, combined with the film's prestige and the opportunity to work alongside established stars, compelled Pitt to push through the adversity and fully commit to his role. Pitt's tense relationship with co-star Tom Cruise sparked rumors, including a private notebook Pitt allegedly kept listing actors he vowed never to work with again. Their feud's precise reasons remain unclear. Some stories suggest Pitt's refusal to use deodorant annoyed Cruise, while others claim Cruise's unsolicited acting advice created tension on set. Cruise's greater influence and star power reportedly reduced Pitt's screen time, fueling rivalry and subtly affecting the film's dynamic and atmosphere. In retaliation, Pitt added Cruise's name to his infamous list, underscoring the discord between the two actors. Despite the drama and challenges, Pitt's discomfort and perseverance added authenticity and depth to his character, which critics and audiences alike found compelling and emotionally resonant. The film grossed $224 million worldwide, significantly boosting Pitt's career, though Cruise, displeased with the marketing strategy, insisted on removing his face from some posters to downplay his association with the project. This blend of on-set tension, physical endurance, and professional triumph remains integral to the film's legacy and is a frequent topic for movie enthusiasts and scholars, who often cite these behind-the-scenes struggles as a testament to the actor's dedication and the complex realities of filmmaking in Hollywood's high-stakes environment. Thanks to the unwavering support of Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, David Fincher was granted the rare privilege of full creative control over Se7en, a feat almost unheard of in the industry where directors demanding such autonomy risk replacement or compromise vision. This trust allowed Fincher to craft a dark, atmospheric thriller that deeply resonated with audiences, blending a grim aesthetic with a complex narrative that explored the depths of human depravity and moral ambiguity. Produced on a modest $33 budget, Se7en achieved remarkable success, grossing $327 worldwide and solidifying its status as a landmark film in the thriller genre, influencing countless subsequent works with its gritty realism and unforgettable ending. Strategically, Pitt reduced his upfront fee from $6 billion to $4 billion in exchange for a share of the distribution revenue. An astute decision reflecting his growing trend of working for minimal pay on other projects to pursue roles with greater artistic merit or box office potential. Seeking to break from his romantic leading man image and showcase his range, Pitt accepted just $100,000 for Terry Gilliam's 12 Monkeys, which featured Bruce Willis, who similarly earned less and waived his fee to benefit from profit shares. Though Johnny Depp was initially interested, Gilliam ultimately chose Pitt, whose intense and nuanced portrayal earned critical acclaim, including a Golden Globe and an Oscar nomination, further cementing his reputation as a serious actor. Despite harsh test screenings that initially raised doubts, 12 Monkeys grossed an impressive $169 on a $29 budget, establishing Pitt's versatility and ability to anchor complex, cerebral films. Pitt then took on a leading role in Sleepers, alongside Kevin Bacon, Robert De Niro, and Dustin Hoffman, commanding an impressive $10 fee that underscored his rising star power. However, from this point forward, Pitt's career decisions were increasingly influenced by financial considerations, leading to a noticeable decline in his selectivity regarding scripts and roles. In 1997, he accepted parts in The Devil's Own and 7 Years in Tibet. The latter, despite being critically panned, performed well at the box office, while the former was a critical and commercial failure. Pitt's role in 7 Years in Tibet had significant consequences, resulting in a ban from China and earning him the dubious distinction from Empire magazine as having the third worst cinematic accent, a critique he later embraced with humor and self-awareness. The Devil's Own was plagued by on-set tensions and creative conflicts. Pitt had expected a lighter, more action-oriented film, but was frustrated when Harrison Ford's casting shifted the tone toward a serious political drama. Ford described Pitt as forgetful and inexperienced, suggesting he needed guidance. Rumors of physical altercations on set were denied by both parties. The film's budget ballooned to $90 due to extensive reshoots, with over 40 minutes cut from the final release, contributing to its troubled production history. Despite grossing $141 million worldwide, The Devil's Own was considered a disappointment. Ford earned $20 while Pitt took home $12 million. Meanwhile, 7 Years in Tibet grossed $131 on a $70 budget. Pitt also expressed interest in Robert De Niro's role in Tony Scott's The Fan, but that film also failed critically and commercially, marking a challenging period in Pitt's career as he struggled to balance his artistic ambition with the demands of financial success and industry pressures. This era highlighted the complexities of maintaining creative integrity while navigating the commercial realities of Hollywood filmmaking, setting the stage for Pitt's later, more carefully curated choices. For the film Meet Joe Black, Brad Pitt received a record-breaking salary of $17.50 million, which at the time set a new benchmark for his earnings, and reflected the high expectations placed on the project by both the studio and audiences eagerly anticipating a major cinematic event that promised a blend of romance, fantasy, and profound philosophy. His involvement went beyond acting, as he was instrumental in bringing the esteemed Anthony Hopkins into the cast, believing that Hopkins' gravitas, depth, and established reputation would significantly elevate the film's dramatic weight and overall credibility, potentially attracting a more discerning audience. However, this decision later became a source of regret for Pitt and others involved, as Hopkins reportedly clashed with director Martin Brest over creative differences, disagreements about the tone, pacing, and character interpretation, and demonstrated a reluctance to perform multiple takes, which created tension on set and complicated the filming process, often leading to delays and heightened stress among the cast and crew. The film's failure at the box office can largely be attributed to its excessively long runtime of nearly 3 hours, which was widely seen as a major flaw. Despite receiving negative feedback from test audiences who found the length cumbersome, the pacing slow, and some scenes unnecessarily drawn out, the studio chose not to shorten the film before its theatrical release, a decision that baffled many insiders and critics alike and arguably sealed the film's fate. This choice to retain the extended cut has since been widely regarded as a critical error, contributing significantly to the movie's poor reception, diminished impact, and inability to connect with a broader audience that might have otherwise appreciated its thematic ambitions. To address these issues, a television version of Meet Joe Black was later produced and trimmed down to a more manageable 2-hour runtime. But this version was disowned by director Martin Brest, who was so dissatisfied with the final product, feeling it compromised his original vision and narrative cohesion, that he requested his name be removed from the credits and replaced with the pseudonym Alan Smythe, a well-known practice and Hollywood for projects. Despite these numerous challenges, the movie did manage to recoup some of its investment and earn a modest profit, helped in part by audiences who were enticed to see the film after watching the highly anticipated trailer for the first episode of the new Star Wars saga that was shown prior to Meet Joe Black in theaters, thus giving it a brief but valuable boost in visibility and ticket sales during its initial run. This mix of high-profile talent, production difficulties, and unique marketing circumstances has made Meet Joe Black a notable case study in Hollywood, illustrating how even big budgets and star power cannot guarantee success when fundamental choices about editing, storytelling, and audience engagement are mishandled or ignored by those in charge. Brad Pitt's next major project was Troy. He declined Oliver Stone's Alexander after losing interest. Troy performed moderately, but disappointed given its $175 million budget. Pitt bounced back with Ocean's 12 and Mr. and Mrs. Smith, where Angelina Jolie replaced Nicole Kidman, leading to Brangelina. Despite post-production issues, the film earned $487 on a $110 budget. Seeking serious roles, Pitt starred in Babel for $1 million. The film grossed $135 on $25 billion. He began producing with The Departed, 2006, a major success. However, The Assassination of Jesse James, by the coward Robert Ford, underperformed despite his low fee. This was followed by 4 hits, including The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, initially stalled with Tom Cruise and Spielberg, but revived by David Fincher and Pitt. The streak ended with The Tree of Life. Pitt then focused more on producing, with moderate successes like Killing Them Softly and Moneyball, and the acclaimed 12 Years a Slave. His career declined after World War Z, Fury, and The Big Short, and the commercial failure of By the Sea, directed by Jolie, after which they divorced amid Pitt's alcoholism struggles. Flops like Allied and Ad Astra followed, with only a small uncredited role in Deadpool 2 standing out. His career seemed to wane until Quentin Tarantino revived it with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, a role Pitt initially declined but accepted after script revisions. At 56, Pitt won his first acting Oscar. Despite Babylon's failure in 2022, Pitt continues working on projects like Wolves with George Clooney. Though facing legal battles with Jolie, his production company, Plan B, thrives. Recently, Pitt appears calm and centered, especially in Bullet Train, portraying a version of himself seeking peace. Hopefully, he finds it. Brad Pitt's journey through Hollywood exemplifies the unpredictable nature of stardom, where talent, timing, and choices intersect in complex ways. His willingness to take risks, both in front of and behind the camera, has allowed him to remain a relevant and compelling figure despite setbacks. The evolution of his career, from blockbuster hits to intimate dramas and producing powerful stories, mirrors the broader shifts in the film industry itself. As he continues to navigate personal and professional challenges, Pitt's resilience and adaptability serve as a reminder that success is rarely linear. With projects like Wolves on the Horizon and a renewed focus on meaningful storytelling, his legacy is still being written, promising new chapters that may yet surprise and inspire audiences worldwide. As he moves forward, Pitt seems more grounded, choosing roles that resonate with his current outlook rather than merely chasing box office numbers. His collaboration with emerging talents and established filmmakers alike indicates a strategic approach to sustaining his career longevity. Moreover, his commitment to producing socially impactful films reflects a desire to influence the industry beyond his on-screen presence. Whether in front of the camera or behind it, Brad Pitt's story is far from over, and fans eagerly await what the next act will bring.